Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dota Pit North America Grand Finals. Best of 5 showdown between EG and NP. After yesterday, NP dismantling Complexity and not only blasting them out of this tournament, but apparently blasting them into a roster change, Ben. They now turn their attention to the boys in blue, who I imagine will prove to be a much tougher test.
Who will be the top team?
And before you even tell me game sound, I'm on it.
Nice.
Nice try. Too slow.
See, I've reminded you enough times that you just know.
I'm like, what is Ben going to flame me for this cast?
I'm like your
check,
nagging mom.
Check one. So draft is underway, and the bans have begun here. We're going to see the Naga Timbersaw removed by EG. On the side of NP, taking out the Crit IO as well as the Drow Ranger. And EG, first overall picking Veno. I have not been watching Elimination Mode, unfortunately, just casting a bunch of other stuff, but is EG, is this like an EM thing? What's with the Veno first pick?
They used to pick Veno when PPD was captain, but that was a long time ago. They ran it in...
And it wasn't like a first pick, usually. It'd be like...
They do weird stuff sometimes.
So, it's a best of 5, right? It's a long series. I'm going to double check just to make sure I'm not missing something obvious here, but as far as I know, they have not been running this lately. Certainly not in Dota Pit. But let's assume it's like kind of a surprise first pick. What, like strategically as a captain, is there a lot of value in throwing something like totally off the wall like that out to start off a draft here in a long series?
It might make them reconsider their Sven Voker opener. Venomancer...
Okay, they've been running it for Arteezy, apparently.
Yeah, they run it...
That was in Captain's draft. Well, okay, sorry, Elimination Mode. Though.
They've run it mid before, but it's more rare. They run it... They almost never run it off lane. They usually run at one position or one of the supports. But it's flexible.
Yeah, the last time they ran it before Elimination Mode was the Manila Major. And they lost that game, by the way. And proceeded to change their roster pretty dramatically. So
he's a good Iron Talon hero too. He was a substitute to Beastmaster when Beastmaster was banned often, but you still wanted a jungle hero that could run around. Centaur War Runner.
What is happening? I guess I can only pin this on the Elimination Mode effect because, I mean, they have not been picking any of these heroes coming into this match. They faced earlier in the event, it was pretty, straightforward stuff, more predictable bans, but NP following up that Centaur grab with a Jakiro. So Jakiro we have seen quite a bit of. This hero, great at pressuring the off lane. We've seen Faceless likes to run it as well from Southeast Asia, so that's a little bit less surprising.
He's a good push with the Venomancer, so takes away a potential pick from EG. Centaur War Runner, I think he's a good pipe hero. There's not that many, like, you can almost always build pipe and it's good. I think Centaur is one of them. Bristles, I don't know. The thing about Centaur is he does magic damage to himself, so like even if they don't have that much magic damage, you're still getting pretty good value out of your pipe and your insight aura.
So Bat Rider, the follow-up grab here by EG. Very heavy magic damage in the first phase, and a good initiator. Of course, I guess the big downside to running like a Centaur as your offlaner is that hero does not give you vision. And so we saw that yesterday the main way that it was NP was trying to deal with the Complexity Bat Rider was they were picking Beastmaster, they grabbed Venge, and God, they had one other hero, but they picked a ton of vision basically to counter him, and they have none of that heading into the second phase.
Nope. And it's also pretty good against Stampede too. Like you might counter initiate with Stampede versus Veno plus other slows, but with Bat, barring Ags, it's not really great to cast your Stampede during then. It's also, I don't know, these two heroes seem to struggle with turn rate and just overall mobility in fights. And Sticky Napalm, probably Bat Rider's strongest spell, I would say. Is that his strongest spell? I think Napalm is his strongest spell on Bat. Over Lasso and Firefly. Maybe Firefly, but it's a tough call.
Well, it's definitely not Flame Break anymore.
It's definitely not Flame Break.
Still a decent spell, but NP going into their third pick. Third ban. They'll remove the Juggernaut here. That is one thing EG are a bit lacking in, is the Roshan taking potential. Sure, the wards will help you, but they are very slow And obviously also a good 5-man pushing hero, and Veno does like his 5-man Dota with the ultimate, so...
Also magic immune heroes. Like Lifestealer's not that big a deal because Centaur kites him very easily. Juggernaut is one of the heroes that like magic immunity and is just very annoying to deal with. Jakiro, magic damage, they don't really have a good way to kill the healing ward, so healing ward plus magic immunity counters a lot of what they have at the moment.
Well, another hero that could counter that with the Repel, Omni Knight, does get banned out by EG.
I wonder if Lifestealer is throwing any consideration here, because he is like kind of the only magic immune hero left, barring BKBs, but you're looking to fight much earlier than your BKB timings.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying for NP, right?
For either team,
Yeah.
EG or MP.
I mean, obviously with Batrider, Infest Bomb is great, but at the same time, I really feel like Stampede is a great counter to Lifestealer. It makes it very difficult to play that hero. Not to mention Jakiro is already very tanky.
You have the Batrider though.
So, yeah.
So that's...
It's a lot of pressure on him to deliver, but hey, they don't have a Vision hero yet. They don't really have a great solution for Lasso. No Oracle picked up, no Venge. Time to change that, though, as NP head into their next pick.
Centaur Jakiro.
AG's like, yeah, you know, we're going to go wacky here with the Veno opening, and then NP's like, no problem. We got you beat with the Centaur Jakiro, so... it's basically the same patch as TI, but it is cool to see that picks and bans are still evolving even in this version, and to some extent that's been true in all patches, but feels like even this is possibly the most well-developed patch as far as like a constantly evolving meta goes. NP into the Spirit Breaker, so I mean they've thrown out the book, Ben. This is completely different from how they were banning and picking earlier in this event, like last week. It's even different from how NP was drafting yesterday.
Spirit Breaker is the only stable, though. It's the only one that they've been picking a lot recently.
It got 5th phase banned by Complexity yesterday. It's by no means like a go-to pick for NP, though.
They picked it a lot in the qualifiers. It is...
Oh, in Manila? Okay.
No, the Boston major qualifiers.
Oh, Manila. Boston, yeah. See, I'm thinking Manila because that's the last time that EG picked the Veno, and it wasn't first phase. But, all right, EG, third pick here. So they have the Veno Batrider. They do not really have, like, physical DPS or a true carry. We often see... We've seen the Alk with the Veno, but it's actually EG who banned out the Alk. So they're going to go into a Rubik now. Good counter to the charge. Centaur has a lot of good spells to steal. Same with Jakiro.
No field, great versus Jakiro, and it's pretty decent anti-push. Yeah, they just needed like a low cooldown, a low cast point, interrupt for Spirit Breaker, as you always want, so your cores just don't get bashed to death.
And NP follow this up with a Darkseer. So 3 face rush heroes, I think it's fair to say, between the Centaur, Spirit Breaker, and Darkseer.
So this is position 1 Centaur.
Huh. What is the position 1 Centaur build? Is it like a Slardar Blinkdagger, like Initiator, or are we going to see... Like, there used to be a very old-school Radiant Centaur build. I don't know if that's still... That was before he got reworked.
I haven't seen any of those. There used to be the Manta build, but we haven't seen... I haven't seen much Centaur after the return nerf. And then... What else is there? Armlet is generally pretty stable on Centaur if you're position 1, but going for, I think, Hood, Blink, Armlet, any combination of those would be fine for them this game.
Well, on paper, it's a pretty good AM game with the Darkseer pick. Great Monovoid target, but Spirit Breaker and Centaur are not the easiest heroes to play against either.
Yeah, their safe lane is...
I mean, I guess
a little weak.
With this, they're probably hoping for the 1v1 against the Darkseer, or, you know, even 2 or 3v1, but maybe NP throw them a curveball here, and like you said, run the Centaur safe lane, run the Darkseer Spirit Breaker off lane, and just run at that AM, and he is not going to match up well against that.
Their supports don't have any damage. Like, Rubik and Veno, they have a slow and a disable, but no damage. And when you're dealing with a Spirit Breaker who has, like, super high effective HP, really high armor, and right-clicks really, really hard, I don't think that they can zone them out if they do want to do 2-person offlane. And even if they just wanted to put the Darkseer down there alone, I think that their lane is not going to be strong enough to zone them out.
Reserve time.
You only have one real easy way to interrupt the charge as well, and that's the lift from the Rubik. So
Yeah.
still feeling like a very good Spirit Breaker game. Not to mention he's great at hunting AM, at punishing, split pushing, and keeping tabs on the Bat Rider when he's going for ganks.
So they ban out all the mid heroes that have escape abilities too, like all the ones that are anti-Spirit Breaker. Invoker is probably one of the last ones left with
Cold
the
Snap, yeah.
no cast point Cold Snap. I think Quas Wex Invoker would destroy them too. Seems to be pretty good here. It's really good at stopping like a Darkseer Spirit Breaker just like all up in your face, and then you have 3 ways to stop their combo.
And you have the AM for late game, so you don't really need the Exhort.
Yeah, you can always transition. And on top of that, the Tornado like dispels the Ion Shell, and the Surge, so it like nullifies a lot of Darkseer's early game prowess. Other than that, what other mid heroes are there?
For EG, well, I mean, I'm thinking of all the normal Sumail heroes, but yeah, Storm's
too slow, I think.
I think if you run Storm AM against this lineup, they're just going to snowball and crush you.
I think Invoker seems the best to me. He's like the most self-sufficient. I guess TA gets owned by Jakiro and Darkseer, so I don't like that at all.
Does Sumail? I don't know if I've ever seen Sumail play Invoker.
Sumail? What?
Yeah.
He's played a ton of Invoker.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
He's played. He used to play it a lot. Back when it was popular, they used to pick up for him all the time.
Have I just like magically never cast any of those games?
I have seen a lot of Sumail Invoker. It has to be one of his like top 7 heroes, I would say.
All right, they did run it once.
Not recently, but like last year or even
Okay.
earlier this year.
Well, yeah, okay. I mean, I more saw him like playing like the Storm, the Quap.
Yeah, it was when those two were phased out.
Yeah. The EG though go for the Dragon Knight, so they get a tempo controller here. They get someone that's not easy to gank with the Spirit Breaker charge. It's not really a reliable stun to cancel that charge per se. It's okay for that, but it just gives them a good pushing hero, someone to take objectives and create a lot of space for Arteezy or the anti-mage. But I would not really call it a Sumail hero.
This is like a PBD draft. The DK Veno is like definitely an older EG look that they used to run a lot more. It was like TI4 era. They had like these two along with the Jakiro sometimes, like very, very often, and they would just take down towers very early on. Although with the anti-mage, it has the late game twist.
So for those who are curious, just as a point of interest, Sumail did play Invoker once 5 days ago, and before that, it has been over 5 months since they ran Invoker. So it's definitely something they've run before, but not a common pick for them nowadays. But they do go for the Dragon Knight, and NP quickly replying with the Razor. So NP, not really the best late game heroes. They're okay at dealing with AM through the mid game, but it definitely feels like they're running the timing draft here, Ben, with this Razor pick.
I wonder what they're gonna build though. They could. I think the Razor's like good for some of their heroes. He's like good versus Bat and good versus Rubik because they have a really difficult time initiating on him. But he's gonna have a lot of mobility issues in the fight with the Napalm and the Venomancer. I guess most of their heroes will, but Spirit Breaker can charge, Centaur can stampede. So I wonder if he's gonna go up like a bot's move speed build or more like a Hood build, which seems more unlikely because they have the Centaur on their team.
Well, NP, they're gonna smoke here out of the base and tried to get a ward down, but 1437 did get scouted out by Zai, who then drops his own lane ward. So instead, we'll see 1437 dropping the high ground ward here just to give them a spot of vision over the jungle. And I do want to mention with the anti-mage pickup, it was Arteezy who played the Venomancer last time they ran the hero, but instead it's going to be a Zai Veno. So it's a support Veno, no sign of an Iron Talon for now. And looks like he will be a laning support. No Alchemist either, which means you can't just catch him up with an Ags later on. So I'm very curious to see how much farm Zai is going to get this game. Especially with crit already on the Rubik.
So SVG's already gotten the magic stick on the Jakiro, which is pretty unusual because normally you don't need that much mana early on the Jakiro because you skill like a 102 build with liquid fire. So that's a little peculiar.
Gold is a great conductor.
And then on top of that, the decision for the Veno to not Iron Talon, I think, is the right one because you'd expect like a very aggressive Darkseer plus Spirit Breaker in your safe lane, and you really do not want your AM to have a really tough time.
And for now, the Spirit Breaker is heading down towards bottom, 1437. Going to be blocking the creep. So we're not going to see that dual lane for the moment. Zai holding that wave back. It's going to be a full-on tri-lane to deal with the Darkseer. And Universe on the Batrider, he will try to lane for now. SVG looking to punish that. Yeah, this is going to be an AUI 2000 Centaur.
They might be able to kill MSS here. He does have only 1 point in Ion Shell, and they already have the Gale up. I think he is in a lot of trouble.
Easy blinking in, though. Has not skilled the Mana Burn. And Darkseer just going to TP back, but he did go all the way to the well. So MSS, no surge. It's going to be a long and sad trip out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Universe got pressured a little bit. Spirit Breaker opting to skill the charge at level 1 here over the bash, but really no kill potential with that.
So he got dual breath at level 1 to complement his magic stick.
I guess he's got the mana to work with. There's the charge again. They can't get in range for the stop. If they could, it would probably be a kill. But Universe able to back away, so... The other lane, we haven't really mentioned it. It's probably going to be pretty one-sided here early as Envy playing the Razor up against the Dragon Knight. Not the easiest lane for a DK.
Yeah, it's not the worst lane for him either. With the Breathe Fire, as long as he gets his bottle early, and they don't really have any good chicken snipers on Radiant's side. Jakiro's constantly showing in Spirit Breaker's melee, so he should be okay. MSS is still having a rough time. Now he's forced to go into the jungle, but unfortunately for him, he has a Centaur camp.
Well, 2-minute rune, what's it going to be? Bounty rune, and that will get him very close to level 2. How convenient.
They're smoked right above him, though.
Oh, he just narrowly misses breaking it. That means EG will pass unnoticed over towards mid. They did even have a ward here, so had that smoke broken, they would have seen this gank coming. But instead, it's a trap for Mr. EE Sama.
They don't have any mana on DK, though. This is going to be a really tough kill. He doesn't have a TP scroll, and he's already on the bottom side.
And Crit has no boots here, but he's still going to waltz in. There's no teleport on Envy. As mentioned, Plasma Field comes out. He starts the static link process, and EG, rather futile effort. Now, they did drop a ward at the Ancients, but NP aren't really an Ancient farming lineup.
This chicken, they're pinging in and out.
Suddenly, NP bringing their supports into mid. So they warded the Ancients here, I guess, but not actually blocking it. Can anyone farm these? I guess Centaur can with return.
Razor can with ult.
Okay.
Envy does. Envy neutral farms with ult a lot. He also picked up the 1 level of Unstable Current early. That helps him survive that gank. But yeah, Dragon Knight sitting in a whopping 0 damage.
Woohoo! That's what Breathe Fire is for.
Yeah. You'll see like a boost first sometimes on DK just to deal with the static link, but he did not opt for such a build. 1437. These two supports just cannot do anything.
I'm actually surprised he didn't start here, but he's certainly going to make his presence felt now. As that Space Cow will charge back towards the mid lane. Moving over in the direction of the Dragon Knight. This is going to force Sumail to back away. As Envy continues to farm, he's already grabbed the raindrops. Definitely feels like an essential item versus EG with the Veno and the Batrider. So NP so far doing pretty well there, but they are forfeiting complete free farm to the anti-mage. Aoi matching that for now on his safe lane Centaur. We'll see NP bottling up a haster and Bounty Rune snagged by the Jakiro. They're going to move on towards mid. The charge comes in. Sumail does not have any mana here, nor does he have a point in the Dragon Tail just yet. They get the bash. They don't really have the follow, but they force the crit TP. I think that's really what they wanted, is MSS now able to safely farm that pull camp, hits level 4, and goes back to the lane.
And no rune for Sumail.
EG, not really the best rune controlling supports either. Mainly the Batrider, who could go and grab those, but Universe does opt for the Tranquil Boots here, grabs the Infused Raindrops. He's doing decently in the off lane, more or less matching the Darkseer, slightly ahead actually. But they're going to look to punish him as he TPs in. Now he's threatening, moving forward, but not able to get in position for a stomp there. So SPG turning his attention back towards the tower. They are going to do some good chip damage here with the level 2 Liquid Fire already. Bring it down almost to half.
That was a nice flame break, though, to aggro those creeps. That tower could be a lot lower for them at the moment. And the supports on the side of EG are really struggling. Veno is just barely in the level 2. Rubik's just 2.5 right now, whereas the Spirit Breaker and the Jakiro are well into their level 3s. And I think it's going to be more of a problem as the game develops because MP are far more likely to fight as 5, in which you need your other 4 aside from the anti-mage to be strong enough to match those 5. However, maybe when the tome hits, or maybe if they are able to stack for the Batrider and get some more neutral experience, then they can actually fight. But right now they are not in any fighting shape.
Yeah, and on the side of NP, you also have the Darkseer Ion Shell, which can just easily allow the Spirit Breaker to jungle. We've actually seen that a lot in the past, historically, from teams that run that combo to keep him up as far as levels go. And an over-leveled Spirit Breaker is a big problem for squishy supports. So DD Rune going to spawn bottom, and Envy sliding over to grab that. He heads from left to right towards that rune. Won't be contested. EG did manage to get a bounty rune for Sumail, who's doing okay, 20 CS, but as you would expect, not winning the lane by any means. Does not have any points in the Dragon Tail yet, though. Truth be told, kind of hard to interrupt that charge until you get your ultimate.
Now they have Stampede on EG, or on NP, so they may be able to catch someone by surprise with the Stampede. It's pretty early on, 6.5 minutes when they started off with 3 heroes on bottom. And MSS.
A lot of trouble on the top lane. Arteezy going to secure the first blood. Didn't even have to use the Mana Void.
I thought they were going to Stampede for him. Nope.
Would he have made it out? I mean, that was without the Mana Void. I think he's dead anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. And we see Centaur looks like he's going for an early pipe for them. So they actually do not have any initiation. SVG is just trapped in the trees and will burn to death.
Universe with the solo kill. Now the charge on the mid, but Crit's in position to interrupt this. Does he get the lift off in time? No, he gets caught by the charge. He does actually turn and lift. And Envy tries to chase down Crit. Is he going to overextend here? Stampede secures that kill. Turning now for Xayah. Could be a double. They bring in MSS as well. Not going to find it. Now Sumail on the chase the other direction. Plasma Field coming out. And it will end there. A 2-for-1 overall around the map. But Arteezy free-farming all the while. Centaur Stampede committed for naught. And I guess it helped get the Razor kill, but I think he had it anyway with the Plasma Field. And 1437 going to head back towards the top lane. Yeah,
They
so
cannot kill Anti-Mage.
they may try. They'll charge, but he's got a Brain of Health, a Headdress. He's got tons of regen, so harassing him really doesn't work anymore. You either got to kill him or just leave him alone.
Yep, that's the anti-Ion Shell build. A lot of HP regen with shield.
And with that, just 1 point in Spell Shield makes a big difference against the magic damage. Even the Spirit Breaker with the Bash, relying on that to kill AM.
They really want to kill Crit on bottom. They do not want to allow him to leech, and Crit.
Oh,
Very
great
nice
toss, but he still is going to barely get clips here. Not able to follow this one up. Man, what a lift by Crit.
Yeah, he's just trying to be as obnoxious as possible on the bottom lane.
I mean, mission accomplished, right? Because that normally should be a kill, especially when you're talking about an under-leveled support.
Yeah, they really want the tower too. Look how low the tower is, and look at the ward set up by NP. They're focused on taking the tower and just controlling and stifling the AM, but none of their plans have really worked yet because Crit is able to stall out the push with the Fade Bolt and prevent an initiation because of the early hood on the Centaur. If he has an early blink, it still might be difficult if Rubik's really quick on the lift, but it makes it much more difficult for him to actually stay in lane, especially in vision.
Well, this I like a lot from Universe. He leaves the lane, heads to the jungle, steals some creeps that the Centaur or even potentially the Razor Darkseer might look to farm, and in doing so also gives the lane to Zai for a little bit, and they need that comeback experience. Still only level 4 on their supports, but hey, they're now even with NP, so EG catching up in that regard, free farming on their AM. The Dragon Knight now level 6.
They're looking for a kill on bottom. Spearbreaker just TP'd in. They're gonna trying to go for a tower kill into a kill into a tower kill, but Universe is too safe and is way behind the tower, and it looks like they will get the tower finally.
Well, you say that, Ben.
Level 2 Liquid Fire is going to put it into deny range.
But EG don't want to give this up, at least not without attempting to deny here. As we see top lane movement on MSS, good rotation from Sumail. They do have the Mana Void available. The lift comes through from Crit. He dies in doing so to the Ion Shell creep. A little sloppy there, but they do still get the kill. MSS getting something in return, and meanwhile bottom onto SVG. They will go AUI with the stun. Follow-up double edge comes through. Can they get the kill? Charge in onto Universe. They will secure that, and now looking for Zai as well, I do imagine. Charge cooling down in about 8 seconds. Stampede already committed. Good placement on the ward there to slow this chase down. The Ice Path barely missing. And they still give pursuit, but they do get the vision. They have a ward up the hill. It's on to Zai. The charge goes through, but that's it. And now it's going to slow 1437. Head back the other way. He has Styx charges available, though. And yeah, Arteezy still getting another kill there. Perseverance is online. Completed the treads. Most farmed hero in the game. And really not being contested too much. They've tried a little bit, but it's been kind of a halting effort here.
The stall tactics on the bottom are just ridiculous coming out from EG. They've made a very concerted effort to protect this tower, even if it means dying a couple of times. And Universe did take a spill there, but he put all their heroes in like critical range, and then 1437 spent a really long time chasing mid. Nice flame break from Universe to interrupt that charge. I think it still interrupts charge. I saw that in my pub game a couple days ago. It doesn't interrupt channel spells, but charge is one of the ones that it does.
I guess really charge is not channeled. It's like a state or something.
I'm not exactly sure, but I just saw it there, so that confirms my suspicion that it does break.
That's pretty big and relevant in this game, though. So definitely glad you mentioned it. So they've moved AUI to top. He grabs 3 of health. Now he's going to stampede onto Arteezy. He misses the stomp.
I don't even think that's a kill.
I don't think it's a kill anyway.
Yeah.
He could have at least pressured him quite a bit.
Yep, and now Stampede's down, which is really bad because they're all gathered on bottom, and if they like overstep just a little bit and then they get like galed into Napalm and a Firefly, they could all die without Stampede.
Moving on to Sumail, and he will get bashed here. Sumail not going to be so lucky with the wall getting dropped and be stealing insane amounts of damage. Well, not that insane, 73, but decent. He's not going to rotate back towards bottom. He did not opt to max the static link unstable current. We have seen that build in some games recently, but it should be enough for the Zai kill. Envy turning it 1 into 2, and now just wailing away on this tower, but the glyph will come out. Arteezy joining the tower defense. I mean, you mentioned stalling tactics, Ben. They're bringing the AM into this thing, and now the Ice Path stolen by Crit coming through will be enough to secure the kill. Mana Void's there, so they not only hold the tower, they even get the kill on the Jakiro in turn. Still
Tower's about to die, though.
And Envy worms his way through the trees. He's right back. He wants this tower. He wants it bad. He's going to sneak all the way around to guerrilla tactics, and while he waits, the creeps do his work, and he's going to TP out in the end.
Finally. I bet is what MP is saying.
Jesus.
Took 13 minutes with a Jakiro to take down that tower. That's definitely a win for EG there.
I mean, you know they're committed when they TP in the AM to defend it before he has Battle Fury. Speaking of which, Arteezy well on his way to that.
So go full tank on Centaur, the phase instead of BOTs on Razor. It's definitely a committal to tower sieging, team fight, and not split pushing out lanes and getting pickoffs, which is like a blink from the Centaur and a BOT on the Razor. So they need to take down towers very shortly, or they have no tools at all to deal with the anti-mage. Just Spirit Breaker's like, he's like so-so, but he isn't going to be able to do it alone.
Good bash by 1437. Well played, sir, and that will secure the kill. Goodbye with the charge, the Nether Strike, and the Stampede. A lot of commitment for Veno. They will get it, but more importantly, they are going to get the Tier 1 top. Yeah, and that's where the Veno also comes in handy, just getting that little bit of extra vision from the Plague Ward, so can potentially scout those charges coming. You've got the Batrider as a good map control hero to allow that AM to more aggressively farm and avoid getting picked off.
And yeah, Veno, as he mentions, he's just like the hero that's just there to be annoying. If you want to push, you're gonna have to kill him first, generally. But with the hood already up, almost the pipe on Centaur, it shouldn't really be a problem because Veno's only level 5. He really does not do that much damage. He doesn't have max Plague Ward, doesn't have max Poison Sting. He opted for the 2 in the Venomous Gale, perhaps to stop Blinks or aid in their team fight a little bit, but they're going to be lacking on damage still. Rubik is level 7 at the moment, so at least they have his spells to help.
EG have now extended their lead, NP have now extended their lead to about 3k gold, but that's with a 1 tower advantage thus far. They're looking to make it a 2 tower advantage. SVG getting tons of free time here on the top lane and doing some serious work. Combine that with the pipe pickup, and it looks like they'll have a little window here before Anti-Mage really becomes relevant. Still trying to complete the Battle Fury. As they scan SVG, they're like, surely this guy has someone behind him. There's no way a Jakiro is that manly. But in fact, he's just a Super Dragon. Zai will get the tower deny, though.
Yeah, and he gets the Observer Ward down, too. So there was like very little chance of him dying. You don't want to commit a smoke to a Jakiro, especially when you're not sure the people around him and when Stampede is up. And at the same time, AUI and Envy right-clicking those towers in the mid lane.
They're going for it. 3 heroes working on the tower mid, and they will be able to bring it down. What if they stolen here from Mr. Crit? It's maybe death. No, he will make it out.
Double Edge is probably one of the worst spells to steal as Rubik in this game.
But he's got no field, Ben.
You have to get in melee range. Is like is by far the worst part of the spell.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best.
It's like half your HP.
Late game Rubik, that's what we're banking on here.
Yeah.
They will try to charge, but you can just see it's not like Arteezy has to get all the way away. He's just got to be far enough back that Spirit Breaker won't have a +1, and then he's really not going to die. And EG, they'll double down on their late game, grabbing the Hand of Midas for Dragon Knight.
Wow, that is bold.
Hero that struggles a lot for levels, which is where the Midas does come in handy, even just to get the level 3 ultimate, but at the same time, means he will be very squishy in the fight.
Yeah, I'd be so scared if I were EG right now, like just them pushing you down with all their teamfight items.
Pipe comes out, and EG trying to engage here, but Arteezy will get stunned. The turnaround by Crit, as he manages to steal a hoof stomp. He's going to follow up this initiation, moving on to the Centaur of AUI 2000. The mech is now deployed. God, NP are just so damn tanky, and they're going to bash Arteezy. Can they bring him down? No. Already committed the charge, didn't get that extra bash required to secure the kill, and now they might even lose their Spirit Breaker. He roasts down to the Bat Rider. Will be a 2-for-1 overall, and that's with the pipe in the mech. Key man not in that fight was Eternal Envy.
Yeah, that's rough. Your Jakiro getting lassoed, you can't really do anything about. A Shadow Blade. Is he going for Silver Edge on the Razor?
First AM versus Dragon Knight, not too bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't align with their other items. Is why, like they have an urn on Spirit Breaker.
It's not a 5-man push item.
Yeah, it's definitely not a 5-man push item. And if he's just the one with the Silver Edge, he still can't really kill that many people because anyone can just TP out. They're not really scared of a Razor Shadow Blading on top of him. But maybe it will give them additional vision for Spirit Breaker. Like you scout out someone with the Silver Edge, you have a long time on your invis, you charge them up, and then you time your break with the charge. Maybe you get a lucky bash with the Nether Strike, and then you can get a kill. But that's a long sequence of events for what could potentially not even be a kill.
NP parading down through mid.
Oh, look at
showing
AUI.
Envy and Aoi and just being cheeky here with the return.
Yep.
But the real action is going to come top. They are gearing up for a go on Arteezy, but he's already wise to this. He moves into the trees, pokes his head back out. Man, he wants that next creep wave. He's like, come on, guys, show yourselves. Show yourselves.
He thinks something's weird, though.
Yeah, you can tell he's like, I want to farm it, but there's too many heroes missing. We've got wards in their jungle. We haven't seen anyone for a while, and they ping literally directly on top of him.
They need vision of him to charge it, though, or else he'll just blink and TP out.
So they know, but he's also wise to them. It won't end up resulting in a whole lot. So smoke gank, unsuccessful, but in terms of a kill. But hey, now we got half the tower damage done as far as the return goes. And this is kind of a forgotten, I guess, feature of Centaur. Good initiator, but also a pretty decent sieger if he's able to tank those tower shots.
Yeah.
Especially
He doesn't have that
combined
much.
with
He has
Jakiro.
no strength, though, so his return doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, I guess more of like the late game.
Yeah,
siege
late game
option.
it's fine, but he also might have like trouble farming with this because you just don't have that much mobility.
Well, the Midas feels like it was just completed on Sumail, already closing in on a follow-up.
Arteezy just died in
Armlet
Ancient
here.
Creeps. He was just taking on an Ancient Stack. And that it seems to be the death of a lot of people.
Did he spend his gold?
No, the creep was one hit away from dying.
I guess someone has to match Envy with the Roshan.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be AUI with the spend death, but nope.
I don't even feel bad about missing that with the camera. He has gone for the headdress and the perseverance. So the headdress was early in the laning stage. Doesn't look like he's going to complete the Vlads. Instead, a Lincoln's likely coming.
Yep, it's the very good versus Spirit Breaker. Kind of one of the best items. If you're the split pusher versus Spirit Breaker, there is really very little that they can do. I guess maybe like Razor can try and break it. Actually, Razor can't break it. Static Link doesn't pop Lincolns. So, yeah, they can't actually break it.
Has it always been that way?
Static Link is one of those super weird spells.
Because I could have sworn it used to, but...
It does not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm
That is very
fairly
odd.
certain. Yeah, it's one of the weird, like... I think it's because it used to be like a ground target spell.
Right, and he'll... Oh! What a bait! Dark Zero Illusion come in on EG, taking its face. Well played. Mojo storms out. Well played.
Yeah, now MP are looking to try and play the farm game, however. And they do have the blink on the Centaur finally, so they can maybe get some pickoffs. But there's not that many towers left to see, just the one T2 on bottom, and they do not have the best Roche lineup. Liquid Fire is pretty decent at taking Roche, but ever since he got that attack speed buff, it's nowhere near as secure as it is. They're very tanky, but still lacking a little bit on damage.
Yeah, do you feel like they can take this significantly later if they're able to outfarm EG like this?
If they gear up for it, and if they get like 1 or 2 pickoffs with the Spirit Breaker, then sure.
There's the Silver Edge, by the way.
Crit is like definitely dead.
Oh man, he's in trouble. Has no vision here either. He's gonna drop a ward. Oh hey, how you doing? Good ward, buddy. He'll get the kill. AUI 2000 there to help secure it with the blink in, and he'll get the last hit. So Crit does get the lane ward down at least, but these supports definitely under the gun. Is 1437 going to charge a bottom? The vacuum is going to prevent any sort of Dragon Tail counterplay. They get 1 kill. Didn't even get to turn the armlet on, and now straight on Desai. Double edges there. NP descending on EG in the bottom lane in numbers, and now looking for a bit more as Envy sneaks in behind the backlines. All of a sudden, they just hit the gas pedal, and they bring down 3. Very well played there.
And that was excellent. The double blink dagger is really working out well for them, and the Spear Breaker, I think it's very difficult to stop his charge. Like DK would have had to like turn on Dragon Form and turn and Dragon Tail him before he got the charge off, but he was like approaching from the trees. It's a near impossible play to make at that point in time. But DK has just felt incredibly useless this game. He got the top tower when they were all occupied on bottom, but aside from that, it just doesn't really feel like a DK game because they haven't been able to push. The supports were really under-leveled, so they weren't able to actually make a move out. And then now they have the Silver Edge to break his Dragon's Blood, and he still has a decent amount of armor from the armlet. But like you want DK to use like Dragon Farm pretty much on cooldown and just keep taking towers with it. But the pace of the game is not in a way that they can actually move around as 4, especially with NP's teamfight-centric build and the way that they're moving around.
So NP starting to flex their map control muscles now as they've dropped down 2 aggressive wards. Anti-Mage, the only guy that's really keeping up in farm, even with the Midas still, they're significantly down here on the Dragon Knight, and they have lost control of their Ancients.
They are smoked up.
But they're going to move on mid. They will lasso. This time they get a real hero. It will be SPG. Dragon-tailed wall being lassoed, but that is enough to secure the kill, and they do manage to steal a level 3 Ice Path here for the Rubik, who is a great setup spell in the lift.
The Jakiro is actually a very important kill because he's our main tower sieger. Centaur, he has 4 points in return, but still without a lot of strength, he still is not that big. Oh, Envy's coming from behind, looking to just kill Zai. And
Envy
has the ult on.
Going in, but the Ice Path that was stolen is enough to scare it. Stampede is used to disengage.
They wanted to. That was.
Owie wanted to go in, but Envy's like,
He could have gotten the kill. He had a bit of time left on his Eye of the Storm, but yeah, probably just not looking to die. His build's not very tanky. Silver Edge and the Dragonlance giving him some strength, but without Stampede as a backup plan, and with potentially like AM coming into the fight, it's perhaps not the fight that they're looking for.
I don't think I've ever seen Arteezy not take an opportunity to flame Owie in a game of Dota 2 post-roster shuffle. Every lobby is like just cursing at him. Like, Owie's the nicest guy I've met in Dota.
Is he the nicest? That's a broad.
He's pretty freaking nice.
That's a broad statement.
He's a very compassionate man, Ben.
I think some of the Adfin guys they would be the nicest guys that I've met.
Really?
They were super nice. They were friendly.
Okay,
Maybe most friendly.
He's not like he's not like the most outgoing social guy, but he's got a good heart.
Nice. Nice is a very specific word, LD. You can't just throw sweeping statements like that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Owie's an asshole. Who am I kidding?
There you go.
Fuck Owie.
He's one of the least asshole-ish people. I
All right, does that meet your approval? Least asshole.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom of the asshole tier list. Like, it makes it
There
sound
you
like
go.
a bad thing. Like he's failing in some way.
He's one of the nicer people.
One of the nicer. God damn it.
Well, the thing is, I haven't talked to a lot of the people because they just don't talk. So I don't actually know how many people are nice or not.
It's hard to talk to people when you don't leave your room very often.
Well, they also don't leave their room too. So both of us combine, like
You combine for not very much talking.
Yeah. Online though, that's where it happens.
Got him.
It's hard to tell how nice people are through their online chat though. Like words online can.
I
Only
mean, I've met
convey
him
so
in real
much.
life. You know, I'm not just saying.
I know. I'm saying the other people. Like you have not that many people to compare it to.
All right. Well, this is not nice, Owie.
Yeah, he's.
Why you got to do the banana man like that?
Now he's building strength, so they can siege once he completes his heart. I think they can end the game very soon. They just need an Aegis, and at least make an attempt for the T4 before anti-mage gets too big. He almost has his Manta style, but I think the time's a ticking on the anti-mage.
Yeah, and to go with that, they also do have the Midas on the Spirit Breaker, so getting a little extra late game insurance here.
Yeah, I like how they haven't like fully committed to late game, but they also haven't fully committed to early game. It's like we have good enough to end the game right now if they mess up, but we still have backup plans just in case. We actually can't break high ground. But I think they need to take Roche before. If you have Roche on Centaur and he just like stands out in front, they really can't do anything about him. You're not gonna lasso him.
And there's the Veil. So NP, definitely a lot of magic damage. They get the BOTs you wanted a bit later on Envy, but they do have it now. So they are following up this strong early to mid game with some map control items here.
Yeah, I think they've transitioned very well. Like Centaur just built Blink and Reaver, and then he picked up the BOTs that you mentioned. And so yeah, they're like in a decent spot if it goes like 40 plus. But going for a smoke, it's immediately popped by Crit. Wow.
Where are they? Hey, Arteezy, how you doing, buddy? Blinks in, does get the vacuum off. That's going to be followed up with a charge, and I think he's going to die to this. The Nether Strike's available. Can Universe interrupt this in some form or fashion? He tries for the 4-step back, but the bash is all they need. They get the kill.
Bash.
And while that was happening, meanwhile, they also got the Rubik. Needless to say, now looking for a third kill. It's going to be Sumail charging in on the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think they can just end the game right now.
Sacrificing his life.
That bash was pretty much game winning. Universe tried his best with the 4-staff, but it just wasn't enough. Spirit Breaker too strong versus AM, and that was a nice Lincoln's pop by AUI. I think he double edged as soon as he possibly could so that Spirit Breaker could follow up with a charge. If that didn't happen, Anti-Mage would have just blinked away, no problem.
And no buyback available on the AM or the Dragon Knight. Just like that, NP starting to flex as they move into EG turf. They start to look for that first lane of Rax melee under siege. Lasso is available. They do have the Venom ult. I don't think we've actually seen a Venom ult yet this game that I can recall.
Nope.
And they will bring down that melee Rex. NP. Great. They've been very decisive in their movements this game. Like we saw that triple kill earlier for the team. The Vacuum has been setting up charges very nicely. There was the one miscue mid where Owie wanted Envy to run in and Envy wanted to run away.
That's a small
but
deal.
overall, like their shot calling and just general teamwork has been really impressive.
The way they kill their cores is the most important. And Universe has only died once. He died in that early game trying to protect that T1 on bottom, but they've killed Sumail a few times through really good coordination, and the most important one was the anti-mage kill that just happened.
So Envy clearing out the mid lane. Does have an Arcane Rune bottled up. The one issue, I guess, for NP is, man, they're just terrible at taking Roshan, so...
I think they're like way stronger right now, though. I think they can easily take down Roche. They're not going to be low, too. AUI has heart.
That's true.
So...
It's just slow.
Yeah, it's really slow. Maybe not versus a Bat and a Venom who can constantly throw Plague Wards in there, but if you do give Anti-Mage like a triple kill, it will like completely ruin their timing to end the game. So... looks like they'll just throw in Centaur, and yeah, he is completely okay. It's slow, but it's steady.
And really no sign of a contest by EG. They, even if they knew, would have a hard time dealing with it.
They don't know that no one's there, though.
But NP are a little nervous. They're not going to commit to this yet, so they get the Rock Man down about 20%. They will back away. Arteezy still no Manta at nearly 30 minutes into the game with that Lincoln's grab. Uh-oh. Crit. Trying to get out of here. Doesn't have a teleport scroll, though. He's in trouble. Meanwhile, more importantly, they're moving on to Zaya in the river. They're going to charge him, and he just melts. Easy takedown for Sama.
And now they're going to go Roche.
Crit's like, can I buy a TP scroll, please? Coming through. Don't mind me. This little Grand Magus here. Oh, Plasma Field almost clipping him. But he's going to live for now. Down at that bottom rune, Universe trying to find the grab on SVG. He'll start to roast the Jakiro, but dragons are fairly immune to fire, in case you didn't know.
And Envy found Crit.
He'll be fine. Oh god, he just wanted that teleport scroll. Well, he got a trip back to the well, Ben. Just not the kind he had in mind.
Not at all.
So, I mean, I think it's fair to start wondering, like, can EG win this just by farming for late game with the Midas DK and the
They need to
anti-mage?
stop the next push. If they don't stop the next push, it's over. But if they do manage to stop this, they need a really good lasso on... I would probably say Darkseer would be the best target, but he has Blink and he's going to be sitting way back, so I think it probably has to be the Jakiro. So well, they also don't have any BKBs. So if they lasso anyone that's not Darkseer, and Darkseer is in a decent position, like doesn't get hit by a Venom ward or something like that, or an anti-mage illusion, then he will just blink in, vacuum wall them, and they will all have to run because they'll all get Spirit Breaker charged, they'll all get Centaur stunned, they'll all get Ice Path, and they just have to run. And I don't really see a good way to counter that, except for far more items on the anti-mage and BKBs on the Batrider and the DK. But those are not coming at all. Batrider's building a Yules, and Dragon Knight is still 1,000 gold away from the BKB.
You know what's better than one pipe, Ben? 2 pipes.
Who else is building one? Oh,
Envy.
Razor's building? Yeah, that's... I wasn't sure if they were going to build 2, but I think it's completely justified this game because Anti-Mage can't really attack this game. He can't really go in there because the Spirit Breaker will just destroy him. And they have Centaur up in front to always pop his Lincolns.
Oh, Universe, this is bad if he gets caught. That's either a guaranteed Roche or maybe straight onto the high ground, and they're going to get the stomp from AUI 2000. Follow Ice Path is there. Kill secured, and now looking to make it 2. On to Zaya they go. Snake Man down. They get him as well, and mid lane is pushed to the tier 1.
Yeah, they either need to go mid or go Roche right now. A good 40 seconds. Those are the only 2 heroes that can really contest Roche. And looks like they're going to take the very long window to take down Roche, but it looks like they're going to lose at least 1 tower, possibly 3 right now.
They could lose this tier 2 mid, the tier 2 top already under siege, and meanwhile mid lane there's a charge onto Sumail. He gets insta-bash by 1437 into the Nether Strike follow-up, and then another bash! Even no mercy. Wow, my god.
He does have the Midas attack speed, I guess, but that's still an abnormal amount of bashes. Okay, let's see who they give Aegis to. I don't know if AOI is going to die, so looks like they will give it to Razor, who's slightly less tankier.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And that is an Aegis for Envy, up to 2,800 gold now. Necro Book picked up by 1437. I mean, these are unusual items by NP, to be sure, with the double pipe, the Necro Book, but considering their objectives and the where the damage is coming from for EG, I like them quite a bit. It makes it easier to siege. It gives them more ability to take objectives. They're not as reliant on Jakiro staying alive, and he is very vulnerable with no defensive items and being relatively poor here on SVG. So
It's definitely a very safe item build, unlike, let's say, like the Midas on Dragon Knight, which I thought was... that's just a huge confidence play if you know exactly how the game's going to go, but like they just lost like a couple of fights after that, and he has been super irrelevant this entire game. Probably needed BKB way earlier to even think about winning some of those fights, but Darkseer looks like he's building a Scythe now, so an extra ability to control the Anti-Mage, who is kind of their only problem going to the late game. As you mentioned earlier, no Alk to give Venomancer an Ag, so he is irrelevant. Rubik has no blink, no
especially a
force
double
staff or
pipe. He's
anything.
definitely irrelevant now.
Rubik's also irrelevant. Batrider can only do so much. He can lasso people, but they have no damage to follow up if Anti-Mage isn't in. So all they need to do is control the Anti-Mage, and they should be okay. But maybe with the Dragon Knight, with level 16, with the Slow Breath and the BKB, they can get a fight. If they have the right positioning. But looks like Envy might be the one that's out in front. They would love to get SVG, but Envy, he has Aegis. They pop smoke.
And he just runs in. Sumail's going to try to stun him here. Does have the level 3 ultimate. They're going to commit heavily. Ice Path does come through, though. Then the back, the wall as well. They get the anti-mage illusion. That's going to force EG on their heels. Universe brought down. Didn't even get off the lasso. The lift comes out, but pipe number 1 has been popped, and they chase forward. Double Edge slams down the second kill, and they look for Sumail as well. He's in a lot of trouble. Angry Centaur coming in hot and heavy. Bash, kill, dead. 3 have fallen. Envy looking for the 4th. They didn't even get the Razor after all that, and instantly out of the high ground comes Aoi-chan. Looking for the tower.
Anti-Mage needs to work some sort of magic right here, like maybe base racing, but he's not even close to the Radiant base. And let's see, if he looks at mana, Darkseer's negative 700 from full, so maybe if he gets a little bit lower, he can blow the team up. Jakiro's minus 600 as well.
Yeah, this is a level 3 Mana Void. It's been that way for a long time now, so hits pretty hard, but Arteezy currently push out this bottom lane. Doesn't even have a TP scroll. I imagine we'll be trying to buy one soon. He blinks onto the tower, forces out the glyph, leaves the illusions. We'll back away.
See the fear in him now, though, because he died that one time on bottom. He's like, I can't die, so he can't actually even throw his body at this tower anymore because of like a Centaur blink, stun, double edge into charge, which he would almost assuredly die from. So like he has to live with fear, and that's never a good sign when you're an anti-mage who's been free farming for most of the game.
He's running out of item slots as well. Like, he'll get the Abyssal Blade here. He's got room for one more item, but I don't even know if it matters on his own.
No, it doesn't. They have really good single target lockdown.
Oh, there's the lasso. Good initiation by Universe to counter that charge, and he will find the kill. NP wanted to make an aggressive maneuver into the Dire base. Not going to work out, but Aoi out front. I don't think he even needed to Stampede there.
They had to be really careful here. It could definitely be a chain feed situation with Envy not out in front. If Envy were out in front, then maybe, because they still have the Aegis, but I think Spirit Breaker's their main tool to lock down the anti-mage. So they, like, without him down, they'd have to get like a really good wall onto him to like make an illusion of himself for them to win the fight, and that's not super reliable.
Gem now picked up by EG, and this is relatively important here given that Envy's had that Silver Edge for about 25 minutes or so. And also just looking to keep some semblance of map control up. Currently, Dire squad really lacking in the tower department. They've got the 1 melee Rex down bottom, no tier 3 there, and no tier 1s or 2s anywhere on the map. As Aoi moves in, thinks about the blink on Sumail. Not going to go for it. With the stun, we'll just back away.
They had the Scythe on Darkseer. So now what they can do, like if they see Anti-Mage, they can call for a charge on him and then blink Scythe him almost immediately, and he can't react. So like this, it's a big worry for the Anti-Mage, who's already having to hide entries, like another threat that he might die from. AUI just chilling right outside base.
So the guy in chat who said return doesn't work on towers.
It does, not on illusions. They fix it so that illusions don't. Same with X-Spin, like his spin doesn't do full damage.
Yeah, it's a really safe way to siege because he's so tanky. He's 3,800 health, 28 armor, pipe, Vanguard. You really don't want to go on the Centaur. And he wants to go on you. Blink in, stun comes through, but the lasso there to counter it. Too bad he's got Stampede. He's still at 3,500 out of 3,800 health and engages forward. Aoi looking for the follow-up kill. Can he find it just yet? There's the Mana Void Arteezy, though, now turning to work on Envy, but he gets stunned. He gets controlled. Centaur is the answer, and NP get another kill on Arteezy, who feels extremely mortal. Not split pushing. They'll buy back on the AM. Still, I don't even know if NP retreats here. They did lose their Aegis, so Envy's going to have to play more carefully. Arteezy, though, engaging forward. Does have a blink available, hanging onto it for now. Abyssal on cooldown.
They have to be a little bit careful. Envy's too low.
And Aoi is running out of mana, at which point you can at least kite the Centaur, if not kill him.
They need to burn all his mana down. I think you just like send AM illusions at him. He can't kill the illusions quickly at all. His team really can't kill the illusions very quickly. So you try and burn all his mana down and then try and go in, but that's like a long, tedious process. And if your team gets initiated on before his mana is done, then you're likely going to lose that fight. So just one anti-mage death away from losing this game. EG have to feel pressure to do something soon, if not now. Their BKB is almost up on Dragon Knight. Everyone's up on their team. Maybe they can catch NP out before they've all respawned and gathered together. I think that's their only hope.
Gem now picked up by SVG. to try and de-ward EG and ensure they get locked up in their base entirely.
So they might catch MSS out here if he's not careful, and he senses something is amiss over here. Universe, he may get AUI kill up here.
Yeah, as a full 5-man squad, AUI gonna have a tough time winning this fight, but Razor's coming in. They flame break that creep back, but he still makes it into the fight. Aoi ever so tanky, taking forever to bring down. Arteezy's gonna commit for this. They do get the kill. Sumail popping his BKB. Envy, though, is doing a lot of damage. This is going to force Sumail to TP out, but the Ice Pad there to interrupt it as the BKB expires. The timing is perfect by NP. They've brought down 2. They lost their Centaur, but he can buy back. And they can potentially go for the jugular here with 3 heroes on the sideline.
Yeah, they are completely okay. Anti-Mage can easily be controlled with the Scythe. Just cooled down from Darkseer, and Spirit Breaker still has his ultimate up, so Anti-Mage, what is he going to do? How's he going to try and approach this? His Lincoln's already popped out. Okay.
Nice path off the mark, but it does zone them back as they jump in with the Batrider, but still no lasso for 30 seconds. And now the Yule Scepter counter initiation commitment, though, onto Envy. Can they bring him down? This would be huge. Pipe on cooldown for 10 seconds. Arteezy, he's playing without buyback, but he's still going in. A manly anti-mage. He gets the bash. Actually, I think that was the... No, it was a bash onto 1437. Yeah, he'll get the kill there. Unable to charge out in time. So NP have to back away. They
Not a bad
do
fight from them.
get the range racks, but at this point, it's really the melee you're concerned about.
If only Roshan were up for EG, I think Arteezy is going to check and pray that RNG is on his side, but it is not up. And with... he wants his butterfly, actually. He can do pretty good. Pretty good damage with that.
No MKB here. No real way to deal with that evasion for now. And they don't really have any pure damage, so they're quite reliant on right clicks to kill him.
The Darkseer illusion, I think, is a big deal, though. Like, he catches anti-mage, I think, almost every single time that he's casted it thus far. And with the butterfly, it's gonna hurt a lot.
Still feels like EG need one of those chaotic fights to come out on top. If it's organized for NP and they're able to focus down the AM, really not much EG can do to save him. Just a single Force Staff, and that's it. As NP smoke up, and they are going to rotate. Crit will be here to break that smoke and also to sacrifice his noble life. Grand Magus down again.
Oh, that was nice by EUI. He tried to blink. He thought the entire team was there to try and contest Roche, but EG were actually not interested in contesting Roche, so he tried to stun the people behind.
Hurricane Pike completed by Envy. It doesn't look like NP wanting this game to drag out too much longer. This Roshan is just moments away from respawning. 1437. Will the gods smile on him? Oh, no, they'll smile on SVG. He comes into the pit. He will scout the Roche. Instant ice path there. Just trying to see what's going on as far as high ground vision goes. And now into the pit. Do EG contest without a buyback on Arteezy?
They're
or the Veno.
down. I don't think they have
the
a smoke.
butterfly.
You can't just walk there.
They do have 2, but
Without a smoke, it's the chances of you winning that fight without smoke is just super, super low.
by the time Crit even thinks to buy one, it's already too late. The damage is done. NP, they've grabbed the Aegis, and it feels like go time, Ben. They've already got 1 lane down, a half lane caved in top with the range racks.
They're only missing one thing, and that's Centaur buyback. Well, if Centaur has buyback and they have like 3 lives on Envy, there should be very little chance of them losing this fight. And Anti-Mage does not have buyback for 2 minutes, nor does he have the gold for it. So seems like the perfect window for them. They only need to push out the lanes at the moment. But with 2 BOTs on their side, should be a trivial task.
They shove out the top lane with Envy. Farming up the jungle is 1437 for now. No real item progression on him since the Necro 3. We're going to see Aoi up to 2.4k gold, so buyback is available. Dragon Knight for Sumail saving for it.
They're waiting for something.
He's still, like, Sumail's been farming all game. He's got items, but like you said, he feels like he's been very low impact.
He just gets linked by Razor. Because Razor doesn't want to do it on the anti-mage because he doesn't know which one the anti-mage is because he Manta styles very early on and then he can just blink away by the time he realizes which one it is. So DK is definitely the best target for him to do so, and NP trying to waste no time with his Aegis.
Nice maneuver there by AUI. Is going to kill off the creep wave, deny that static link, or static charge. Split push, I should say.
They need a go now. I'm pretty like Envy is one of those guys that types his timer in a lot, so it's very likely that they typed in Anti-Mage's buyback timer.
Yeah, the Aegis has plenty of time here. Only 30 seconds though. And Arteezy thinks about initiating. He's going to waltz right in. He commits on the Envy here. No static link though. Envy being patient with that, really wants to save it for the DK.
He got a break on him though, so Arteezy had to back out.
Does have the link. It's available currently. Blink Stomp and Manta dodged. Arteezy, good maneuver in there. He's almost entirely mono burned AUI, and as they jump in, they look to get this quick kill on the Darkseer. They're going to bring MSS down. He hasn't committed anything. He doesn't have buyback, and then they steal the charge, it looks like. So EG able to turn this fight on its head. NP being forced back, and in a chaotic fight, Anti-Mage will be king. Jumps on the Thief and finds the secondary kill. You mentioned having buyback on Centaur, but it seems they might also need it here on the Darkseer, and they don't have it. That's going to be Envy down as well. Aegis once. They can kill him again.
Wow, what a play from Universe right there.
Dragon Tail, commitment, and bashing him into submission. Anti-Mage happening right now to NP.
Finding Darkseer is like the only way they can win the fight though. And they still don't have BKB on the Anti-Mage, and Vacuum Wall is by far their best source of counter initiation to the lasso.
He knows it because he's grabbed the ultimate orb. I can only imagine for a Lincoln's.
Yeah, but that's a huge loss to take. You lost to Aegis, you lost your Razor again. You still only have one melee Rex down on the enemy team.
Oh, EG, if they somehow pull this game out, they've got 20 seconds where they'll have a power play, and a minute unless Envy wants to buy back, which I assume he will once he sees the Rax being fully threatened.
That Manta dodge by Artur right there, it prevented him from his Lincolns being popped, and because of that, they couldn't really go in. And then simultaneously, Universe went in on the backside. So Envy's still down for 40 seconds, so he can buy it back, but they still don't really have a good way to...
Good stop initiation. The wall is going to be dropped here on top of Arteezy. He gets hexed up back in, but that stolen Stampede brings him out to safety. All game, AUI has been trying so hard to prevent it from being stolen by just using the hoof stomp randomly, but this time it does get stolen. Now the charge, the Stampede, charge Stampede combination as they look to lock down Arteezy, but the lasso comes through. He'll make it away. Universe there to save the day, per usual. Now going for the TP out. Vacuum on cooldown, but they get the bash from the Nether Strike, and will at least secure that kill. Still, though, they lose SVG in turn. Tier 3 did go down in the middle lane. That's all they get. Although, as I say that, already moving back in is Arteezy. Gem hits the deck. He's going to scout it out. There is no TP right now in the Anti-Mage, but he'll grab the gem. He'll drop the power treads, and he'll scoot back towards the base. Does have the gold for BOTs if he wants them, as well as buyback.
That is definitely a worthy drop. Yeah, gem sure might be less money than power treads, but his team needs the gem. I'm pretty sure they have one in stock still, but this late in the game, you need it.
All right, it's Abyssal Blade time for AO 2000. Got to deal with that AM.
Still can't pop the Lincolns and reliably stun him though. The cast point on the hoof stomp's a little bit too long, and then he doesn't have another instant cast follow after the Abyssal. But maybe with a bash or two, he can do something.
Yeah, you combine him with like the Darkseer though, and they do have, you know, Blink Hex and into an instant Blink Abyssal, some potential there.
Yeah, he doesn't have mana though. Like he doesn't have any evasion, so he actually just runs out of mana extremely quickly if there's one Anti-Mage illusion on him or the hero itself. And him without mana is like not actually very useful because you can just ignore him if he doesn't have any mana. Even if he has a basher and some attacks you from AC, you can largely just kite him and just pretend that he's not there.
NP smoking up here. Envy out in front as they swing towards top, moving from bottom to left or to top on your screens, and now onto Arteezy. He will blink away. So it breaks the smoke, gets out, has the AC now. The bootsless AM. No TP either, worth mentioning, but they are finding the openings here. It's Universe who goes in with the BKB. Commitment onto Envy. Not able to even get off his piping focus down. He's very tanky. The Mono Void's super ineffective, though, and then the Vacuum back into a nice back. Good combination here. Forcing EG back. That Anti-Mage illusion from the wall doing so much work. Almost burning down crit on its own. I think he may die, though. No, he will barely escape. TP's out. Does have to stole another strike, but still they're going to lose a second hero. Envy, everything committed on him.
That Talisman of Evasion, so value.
He hardly lost any mana despite all three Anti-Mages hitting him.
He picked up that Talisman of Evasion at the perfect time. Because without that, they assumed that they would have killed him. because he would have gotten hit maybe like 5, 6, 7 more times, and then he would have lost that much mana, and then he would have gotten hit by the even harder mana void. Like that Talisman of Evasion just completely won them that fight.
NP, 2 lanes of Rex down, looking for a third. No Dragon Knight, no Benno. Already the return siege has begun as NP look to make EG's land theirs. It's a best of 5. It's going to be a long series, but oh, good Hex there as Universe comes in. He didn't have the BKB cooldown available. Still Arteezy following up this initiation, but they stomp him, they control him, they bash him. They've got the Abyssal Blade to work with as well. It's not enough lockdown. He will make it out, but he's still on the run as Envy charges in, but it's into the waiting arms of the Anti-Mage. Gets up the Mono Void, but in doing so, he does proc the Razor passive, almost enough to bring him down. Crit's gonna fall, the long range auto attacks from the Hurricane Pike, securing the kill. And then the bash, the Hex, control for days and nights on end. They'll get that kill too. It's 4 EG heroes dead, buyback on the AM, but the base is exploding now. EG crumbling, AUI surging forward, taking down some of his old teammates here. As he'll get the vacuum onto Arteezy, support from MSS. They'll have one last stand, Sumail surrounded by a horde of NP heroes. They douse them in the hot sauce, and they are on the verge of taking game 1, but they haven't done it just yet. As the fight begins to turn around, all heroes with buybacks, though. Mega creeps available. Even if EG shove down mid, it's going to be very tough to come back from here.
Rapier time. No, they don't. He doesn't have money.
He doesn't even have inventory slots for it.
Yeah.
Needs the Battle Fury to deal with the Megas.
They need a Lotus Orb for him. The supports are too poor. Like he needs more item slots. Like he doesn't even have boots, and he still doesn't have mana, Moon Shard. So
He doesn't have MKB to deal with Razor.
yeah, no MKB, and like if he gets the, I think if he gets Lotus Orb, he can do away with his Lincolns and pick up like a Rapier or MKB or whatever it is that he wants next. But like without that Lotus Orb available to him, he's just gonna get hexed and chain stun by Spirit Breaker and Abyssal by the Centaur. Like all these nasty single target spells is gonna keep happening to him. But yeah, no buyback on Anti-Mage, and no sign of buybacks yet from NP as their high ground starts to get assaulted by the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, Arteezy knows they really have to at least force some buybacks now. NP, though, they might just forfeit 1 lane of Rex with the Megas up and not commit buybacks. Elsewhere, they have tier 2s on top and bottom. So I really like this call by NP. They know they can't even lose 2 lanes of Rex here unless EG go for the throne. There's no threat of taking additional objective damage now.
Yeah, I think you just have to go for it. There's not really another option aside from going for the throne.
Come on, Owie. Use your buyback, buddy. Come on out, but he's not cooperating. They're even letting the tier 4s take damage. Waiting a long time. The vacuum committed now as Envy is going to be caught out in front. BKB and the lasso commitment trying to dive him with Arteezy, but that evasion, as you mentioned earlier, been doing too much work. Sumail focused down with the Necro 3. The Spirit Breaker deals with the Mono Void. Almost gets 2, but actually gets nothing. Now Arteezy on the run, but he's damn slow. The Flutter is available, but Owie comes in hot and heavy, trying to lock him down, control him, and finish him off. Oh, the baits from Envy. He's like, hey, dude, where's your boots? You're a little slow there, my man, Artor. He's got to back out in the end. They've lost 2. Blinking away, the charge forward. I think they can run him down. He's got no TP here. Eventually, Arteezy is probably going to be caught. Space Cow continues to commit. Manta dodge, though. Beautifully played by Arteezy. That will get him back to safety, but it's Envy sweeping around from behind. He BOT'd into the bottom lane. Crafty maneuvers from NP down the stretch here as they look to close out the boys in blue, and it looks like they just might be able to do it now. Isolating them. 2 heroes on the sidelines. Mega Creep's already up. Envy, though, in a bit too deep. But at the same time, he's got backup. AY has arrived. Hex is there. Focus onto Arteezy. No buyback available. If he dies, it's surely the end of the game. Not even attempting to siege right now. They're being forced back into the well, and the GG is called a noble effort by AG, but inadequate in the end. As NP take them down with the crafty Centaur pick and a very well thought out response to that early Venoman.